morning. I'm Yazzi Sangari, and thank you for watching GH Today. Don't forget, we're streaming live on Facebook, and we'd love to hear about your lockdown stories. Check us out at GHOne TV. Now, our headlines. Residents of Old Fadama who were affected in Tuesday's fire are still counting their losses. Some have been rendered homeless and others are left with burns. We will bring you an update as the Ghana National Fire Service continues with investigations. Filthy is an understatement to describe the Chemu Lagoon. Traders are complaining about how dire the situation is to their business. We will engage the MP as the rains are gathering to pour. Bell Aqua donates 500,000 cedis to the COVID Trust Fund as the company promises more. These headlines and many more coming up. Several residents of Old Fadama are homeless after fire swept through the slum, destroying hundreds of structures and leaving some with severe burns. The fire started around 2 a.m. Tuesday and destroyed properties, according to eyewitnesses. Residents of the area said the fire service personnel were not called quickly enough to contain the spread. But when they finally came, it took several hours to douse the raging flames. Godwin Asidaba has more in the following report.
On the early hours of 7th April, which was on Tuesday morning, fire gutted Old Fadama, bringing down a number of houses. Now, this critical situation has left most of the residents here homeless. Several wooden structures which serve as accommodation for residents of Old Fadama were either burnt to ashes or partially destroyed in Tuesday's inferno. Old Fadama, one of the biggest slums in the Greater Accra region, houses people from different parts of the country. The scene was devastating to watch when the news team went back on Wednesday. 7 men got burnt during the outbreak, leaving 2 in critical condition. The remaining 5 are still struggling in pain.
I was sleeping, the fire burned the room like this. I wake up now, the fire burned the room to place all. The mouth to the fire get it. Why I not get any place where we go come out? That my hand to burn. That my hand not take knock the get now. Why we get chance to come out.
They have not sought medical attention. Instead, they are falling on some home remedies.
The fire is not hospital. So I guess some my people when the fire catch them and go just to do something for them.
They worry me because they worry me.
The NPP chairman for Old Fadama, Alpha Al-Hassan, said he's reaching out to ensure the men are taken to the hospital.
The leaders for here no behind him. Say no, I'm back coin and then say, or be prana, and almost nipa 5 biapra, it's almost nipa 6. And after any
63-year-old Veronica Marco trades at the vicinity. Her items worth 5,000 Ghana cedis have all been burnt, leaving only her birth certificate.
Namada, and minimum a time na miti he na mi sole yenu ne jana adumi wo because ma si ade na bonsan ti mi da bonsan so e na mi store mienu wa ase mi to province niema enti said de wa mu kan ye no e ya mi kofa 50 million na ma beto mi wi na mi di ko na ma sakofa ti da na asem no ba no mi di ko ye no ma me no ni ho enso amani ba amma me ama 50 million so mitimi amfa saska no ahye baby amida mitimi fa hwe de etuma we ya efra me eno na me di sole ye me fa hwe timi pa ban chew aban be di apoa me enye sa me ni boafo bia.
Some Kayaye who lost their sleeping quarters to Tuesday's fire are seen sitting idle next to their burnt homes.
I didn't see any sukra achire papa because Neti dam. Ye nyina ye da wodem na jane bae ene ye bawe. Nti omuma e lockdown. Omo che adwane bebre ne enyina ahye. Ne nyina ahye. Nti neti se obi ni ne yere na ekuye. Ena obuofu na odijane ba saw them.
They tell me how they were able to escape within a breath of their lives.
Eti them near lucky and a die. Until a danny chino and a hit in a bay. And I who say, Jano, and yet easy by a crane, ye dear Kuma Manyami, say, Yashino. Mean we are back on a filter form, and a back on a kita of Aquarano, and a mifa Aquarano man, and a mifa. And chance the
youth leader in the Greater Accra region, Alhaji Rashid, pleaded with the government to come to the aid of the residents.
We need help from the authority. You can see that every place is being burnt. Their items, their goods, their food, everything is gone. And then here's the case where in a lockdown. They can't go out, so we need them to help it. They should come to our aid.
The situation has made it worse for the people to observe social distancing. They were seen huddled together in an attempt to console each other. No Veronica buckets could be spotted around. A community leader, Chief Nazo, said the current situation has made life a living hell.
This coronavirus, in fact, the truth speaking, we can protect it since yesterday because of the population, the crowd that has been crowded here. You are thinking about the what happened to you, so you can't talk about the coronavirus since yesterday up to now.
But the fire outbreak was allegedly caused by a couple who had a misunderstanding, leading the wife to set their house ablaze, according to eyewitness accounts. The couple, we were told, have already taken to their heels. For GHOne News, Godwin Asidiba.
Meanwhile, Choco residents, especially fishmongers who live along the Chemu Lagoon in the Ablikuma South Municipality of Greater Accra region, say they are living on the edge. They told my colleague, Sadina Arhin, that they are scared that the floating bridge has blocked the surface of the nearby lagoon with a huge pile of plastic waste. A dredging exercise also did not help because the slit left has rather compounded the threat to their health and businesses.
Though the lagoon was dredged before the bridge was constructed, the fact that the bridge berths across the lagoon, it has become a piling point for any floating material. The fishmongers say the flies from the heap of silt is unhealthy for their business and the community as a whole.
And so and to me, because it's here, government number yes, data side no, and like when like a real number in Abama area.
The fishmongers say a recent announcement by the Ghana Meteorological Agency shows that heavy rainfall this year will cause flooding in some parts of Accra, which has got the fishmongers worried. They say the flood will not only wash away their kiln, but also cost them their livelihoods.
Gugu has said, so to I had you a hapa, unya bebin jinampo and to tunam.
Who was Sabian, she benabata, enemy, assuation, a fair to Magane Beni, and we Tony, a be, Joel and Chau, a from a be, ba, bien, refer to mo, no go near fair toilet, no cocaine.
The area is one of most hard-hit communities by tidal waves, and for that matter, any flood occurrence will have disastrous consequences.
The residents of Chemu are asking government to provide them with money in sacks of rice instead of giving them packs of cooked rice. According to the residents, the packs of rice provided by the government officials is an insult to them, as they claim it does not sustain them.
Kani wo ye fe etan onu wo ye fe ne ta ba wo shika ke ni nu wo ye nu o ka o no ka ba o wa jepo o ba nu omo na o di afru fi abere mi na mi ndi hey o saudi yare sebo na mi ndi na mi o di betima na o di abere mi ye ndi hey
e bi anse masori am ti fi mi nye hwe nipa brepa na mo de mo bi besi anum sa ya no dada tama me ti kura mi si mi duru hon kura na ka na tu di mi de mi bo ma nya bi so mtie brepa
yeti fie mintumi nya hwe yakom kura de mi yesi ensuo free ye kura ye nya bu nti sese enyama na o muchicha na se bua na eba ne bua amafo no ondane na chine hwe endane na ni hwe yeso na yeso ye hia pa.
The Kumasi Central Market will open to trading on Thursday in a new arrangement that will see leadership run on a shift system based on color coding. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly says the decision to run a shift system was taken after a meeting with all 67 trade associations of the market and the Metropolitan Security Council on Tuesday. The chief executive, Osei Asibi Enchi, explains how this would really be done. The traders, on the other hand, are promising to adhere to this latest arrangement.
Now, they've all agreed that the total number of traders within the central market is huge. The number is huge. Only those selling food, the number is above 6,000. And as such, if we only allow them to come, congestion will be there. So they have agreed with us that now there should be a rotational practice. So that is what we are working on. So we've generated cards for them. So if it's a matter of tomato, if you are selling tomato, they are regrouping them into three. The first batch will come. So from the exercise that we've done today, we've opened the market for them. They are not selling, but today we are doing the groupings. So tomorrow the first group will come. Then Friday the second group will come. Then Saturday the third group will come. Then they will reverse back to Monday. The first one will come. So that is what we've agreed upon. And apart from that, we also laid much emphasis on the cleanliness of the market. The instruction is that anyone found selling around a filthy area will lose his right to sell in the market.
Ayaka eti she bia mo boya ma ye no ye bedi so ye ne mpanifo atena se e de nhye ye nyina agu akwam de ye kyewpa akoma mpanifo se ye sere wo mo ya ya asoden sa asoden ye nye bio enti ye po mo kyew mo mfa nkye ye na ninu ama ne wo fa asefom wo mo ma ye mra ne meto ade ye se be ye benya kakra akoma nkola ye didi ekunafo wom obi wo kura woni kunu sojafo ne ade enti ye sere se wo mo hu ye mo bo no mo mie. Measures
to prevent COVID-19 are being thwarted in Bokum and Chemu, two of the poorest and most populated communities in Accra. Residents of Bokum and Chemu say they are unable to comply with social distancing protocol because they need to come out and fend for their families.
For people in the densest communities such as Bukom and Chemu, social distancing is a difficult task. Residents acknowledged that they were told to maintain social distancing and personal hygiene to prevent contracting COVID-19, but unfortunately, they cannot adhere because they need to come out and work to fend for their families.
Government workers. Unemployment Uda ona is a comedy. In Japa Chow say, oh, my penny my boy. I'm a hand of any more Emra, and it's like a crack. You don't go say them.
You know, this area, our education is not perfect. This area, our education is not perfect. Only job they here then fishing. Our coming Kenan on football and boxing. We have four measurements here. Yeah, 4 talent day here. Well, that social distancing is very poor here.
Residents also say the nature of their homes and their culture as a people make it almost impossible to adhere to directives against gathering and keeping a social distance.
They don't have their personal government work. But they say they go share them. I'm more prepared. I want to move for and you know also be able to.
Wow, and the ever so man paying, says Alazina Nado said. The Bosch or share, yeah, this week. I face and paying for more man, Tim one woman, why? The woman wants how many Veronica bucket, I bet you. That's who, son. Or one say, oh, yes, Undidi. Edwanibia, you say, they are prepared for last week, you know. You got DAV. And it will dear you out to me share them, sir. I come back, wapi. And nothing I was your doors were maintain one.
They called on benevolent organizations to provide them with food which could solve the need to defy the stay-at-home orders.
Moving on to business news, Bell Aqua, a leading drinking water service company and a subsidiary of the Blow Group of companies, has donated 500,000 cedis to the COVID-19 Trust Fund. The donation is the company's contribution towards government's fight against the novel coronavirus and efforts of the state aiming at helping the needy and the vulnerable in the most affected areas.
The communications director of Belacqua, before presenting the check to the chief of staff at the office of the president, noted that Belacqua is impressed with the matured way government has handled the COVID-19 crisis. Emmanuel Quest said their contribution is just one of several support programs they have put in place to assist in the country's fight against the spread of COVID-19.
As an indigenous company, we felt that we would not sit back and not donate widow's mite to the cause of getting us out of this pandemic. In the first place, we'd like to commend what government has done so far. We've shown forthright leadership. The president has given us hope and has given us a sense of clear direction as to how we are going to get out of this.
The Chief of Staff, Akosua Frema Osei Opare, on behalf of the President of the Republic, Nana Adudankwa Ekufuado, registered the appreciation of the state to the owners, management and staff of Belacqua for their show of support for the people of Ghana.
We are very grateful that you have found it fit to donate so early in the establishment of this fund. This is the time to spend money. This is the time to invest in the fight. A time that you can control things rather than when it's too late. So we are grateful. You did mention in your presentation the impact that this partial lockdown will have on the vulnerable. Indeed, it is clear that it does have an impact.
The Blow Group of companies was founded in 1993. Since then, they have pursued a progressive growth path despite national and international competition. Growth with a social conscience has been their motto. Blow Group's long-term goal of building a global, multi-product, multi-brand company is now becoming a reality. Blow Group provides full service to virtually every industry in which customized flexible packaging is used: food, pharmaceutical, chemical, textile, airline, railroad, utilities, and construction companies, in addition to agricultural, retail, asbestos abatement, and medical waste industry. Blow Group has 2 manufacturing sites with a total build-up area of 80,000 square meters, having over 1,300 workers, modernized workshops, advanced facilities, professional technological talent, and management systems.
Still in business news, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers and the Consumer Protection Agency have sued the National Petroleum Authority over the introduction of the cylinder recirculation recovery margin, which will allow LPG operators to start charging 13.5 pesos for each kilogram of LPG. The 2 companies in their writs of summons argue, among others, that the NPA failed to consult with various stakeholders before introducing the policy. Duncan Amoa is the executive secretary of COPEC.
We've had a lot of engagements, and if you look at the posturing, in fact, we had even given about 3-4 days for any withdrawal so that further deliberations can proceed. Unfortunately, it doesn't look the NPA is willing to engage. And so what it's left to now is to go for the interpretation of the law on such matters. Mind you, the precedence that the NPA is setting is a very dangerous one, which, if allowed to stand, Ghanaians would weep at a certain time in our developmental history, because the NPA boss should not be allowed that unanimous authority to imply and impose taxes on Ghanaians at will. That's exactly what he has done with this gas levy increases that he has slapped on all of us. And we are saying that the court should restrain them. It's got nothing to do with personalities, but we need the courts to make a determination as to whether the NPA can now usurp Act 174 of the 1992 Constitution, which imposes an obligation on the finance minister through parliament before levies are applied to Ghanaians. The NPA cannot usurp that and get away with it.
Now, time for international news. Senator Bernie Sanders has suspended his campaign to become U.S. president. The development clears the way for former Vice President Joe Biden to become the Democratic Party's nominee. Mr. Sanders, 78, told his campaign staff about his decision on a conference call on Wednesday before addressing his supporters online. A self-described democratic socialist, Mr. Sanders found early success making health care and working-class issues a key part of his election platform. For a long time, the front-runner has slipped behind Mr. Biden in the party's primaries in recent weeks. Sanders has pursued the presidential nomination before losing out to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Boris Johnson is responding to treatment for coronavirus as he approaches a fourth night in the hospital. The Prime Minister was being kept in St. Thomas Hospital in London for close monitoring and remained in clinically stable condition, according to an official spokesman. Downing Street said he was not working but could be contacted by those who need to. The number of people to die with the virus in UK hospitals has increased by a record 938 in one day. According to the latest Department of Health figures, the total death toll now stands at 7,097. It comes after number 10 said a review of lockdown rules will go ahead next week. But the public must stick with the measures at what is called a critical time. I am Yazzi Sangari, and thank you for watching GH Today. Coming up next is Lantem with more.